Total population in Canada, 36 million people. Between 1971 and 2016, it grew by about 16%. There's your population of farmers, 650,000. It's declined by almost 60% since 1971. Very dramatic change with respect to not just the number of people working in farming, but also, again, their composition. This is from the Globe and Mail. The concern is that farmers are aging, and for the sector and the economy generally, where are we going to find young farmers to fill those who are leaving? So this is reflected in the data. There's farming occupations by age for Ontario, 2011, 168,000 of them. If I look back to 2001, a decade, there's what the composition looked like, much younger and many more. And again, if I look at all occupations and change that not from the number but to the percentage distribution, we see for all occupations in Ontario, about 20% of them are over the age of 55. Does anybody want to hazard a guess out there at what the proportion of farmers are over the age of 55? 50%, 49, as per the last count. So Ontario population, as I said, 13.9 million people earlier. If we look at our particular projection, which is very similar to what StatsCan's projection is, our forecast is for it to add about 3.1 million people, grow by about 22%. Another 3 million Ontarians sounds like a relatively big number, but if you look at the rate of growth that's projected to be, it doesn't exceed 1%. So that's a below 1% population growth rate. So just at the top side, in terms of the growth in the Canadian consumer market, or the Ontario consumer market, it's going to be sort of in that range of, at best, 1% in terms of the total number of warm bodies that are out there purchasing and or that are available to sell to. So a relatively slowly growing market in terms of absolute number. But as reflected in some of that historical change, a pretty significantly changing one as well in the coming years. Here's what the age profile looks like out to 2036, and you can see where the biggest change is at the top of that age profile. So lots more gray hair going to characterize Ontario as well as the rest of Canada in the coming years. So remember here, 22% growth in the Ontario population as a whole. The youth population, as per our projection, is going to grow at about half of that rate. About 431,000 more kids. The workforce, about the same rate of growth, only about 12%. Just under 1 million people additional working in the labor force. But check this out. Seniors, 65 plus, 76% growth, 1.7 million more seniors. So again, a very different landscape with respect to the distribution of population in Ontario in the coming years, and a much different composition with respect to your consumer markets here within the province. So from a demographic perspective, 13.9 million folks today, there's what the population would look like just of you guys aging and dying in the coming 2 decades. It would decline from about 13.9 down to about 11.1 million people. Now, again, the astounding mathematics on that says that 80% of you guys are still going to be around by 2036. Super cool, right? So what that means at the top side is that just about 80% of your consumer market, well, they're already here. They're just, in 20 years, they're just going to be 20 years older.